Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and oh my god, let's everybody take a breather here because what a game of football that was. 5-1 in the semi-final between PSG and Bayern Munich, and at the end it was PSG who won that game, but barely. From where should I start? I still cannot believe we saw that game. It was everybody had a lot of expectations from this. This is what everybody said that this should be the final of the Champions League, because we know how good both these teams are. We expected goals, we expected that end-to-end stuff, but if everybody's expectations were here, the game was like here, even higher than that. I mean, it was simply unbelievable. It felt like, I'm not gonna even joke. It felt like you are playing FIFA with your friend, and like you both are having a go at each other. Both of you are scoring for fun. It had everything, a crazy game of football. All your big stars coming up, all of your big stars showing up and scoring their goals, open chances being missed, penalties being given, controversial calls, hitting the crossbar, crowd going wild, and injuries happening. I mean, that game had every single thing that you could have wanted from it. And now you're just like waiting for why did it end. That's the only question that everybody is asking. Why did the game end? It should have been continued. You hear this chants, in WWE and in some other place where they say fight forever, like they should have kept on saying play forever, because that was something else. That was oh my god, that was a really great game of football. I don't really have superlatives to describe how good that game was. Out of this world, to be very honest with you. From the get-go, you knew again, I'm gonna say, everybody expected this. Everybody expected both of them to have a great at each other. Everybody expected both of them to to press like crazy. Everybody expected both of them to play with that high line, to attack each other from the moment that they get the chance. But again, everybody's sitting here with their mouths open, with shell shock that what we have witnessed. Bayern get that a first goal courtesy of a penalty. Harry Kane slots in. PSG come back. Kostakaya, of course, he had to be the one that he to bring PSG back. Ousmane Dembele, just before that, Ousmane Dembele missed an open sitter one-on-one, and he shot so wide. João Neves makes it 2-1 in favor of PSG. Michael Olise makes it 2-2 for Bayern Munich. Then you have that controversial penalty call. I think it was a very soft penalty. I mean, there's like 5% chance that that penalty gets given. It's a very soft penalty. I think Bayern Munich were really unlucky in that regard. I don't think that penalty should have been given. But again, as I said, it's a 5% chance that there are like 1 in 10 chance that penalty gets given, and today it was one of those chances, and PSG get that penalty. Ousmane Dembele scores it in. It becomes a 3-1. We come back. It becomes a 4-1 for Bayern Munich, and then finally Ousmane Dembele scores. Kostakaya scores that fourth goal, and then Ousmane Dembele scores again to make it 5-2. It was. And I'll be very honest, and I'm going to give huge credit to PSG the way that they played, but extra special credit for Bayern Munich, because I think almost every single team on this planet, when they were 5 down in a semi-final of such a huge competition, going away to a team who's completely dominating, they would have burned out. They would have basically given up, not only physically but mentally. It takes so much effort. It takes so much effort to come back into this game, and Bayern Munich deserves so much of that credit, that they had that mentality, that they did not want to lose this game, they did not want to give up, and they wanted to make sure that they come back into this game and they make a tie out of it, and they did come back. Luis Diaz scores that goal, Upamecano scores another goal. It becomes a 5-4 in the end for Bayern Munich, and again, I'm going to say they deserved everything out of this game. And again, I'm going to say, physically, and and the way we know you have special players and whatnot, but for me it's the mentality of Bayern Munich that gets them back into this game. Because as I said, so many teams, I almost like 99% of the teams would have been like it's done. We cannot make a comeback. They would have thought, let's just, make sure that we don't concede more goals so it doesn't become more humiliating for us and that we can have something to play for in the second leg. But Bayern Munich are like, no, we are going to make sure that we come back into this game and make it equal and maybe try to win this game. That's what their mentality was. That's how they were playing, and that's the reason that they were able to come back. If you're going to just go, if you accept defeat in a way, things get worse, especially with this PSG side. If Bayern Munich would have just sat back and decided that they're going to make sure that they don't concede, that they are going to defend and they are not going to let PSG score more. I personally think, and I really believe that PSG would have gone on and they would have scored more goals because they would have smelled blood. They were already high on confidence and they would have put Bayern Munich under more pressure and they would have scored more goals. But Bayern Munich did not do that. They came back, it literally felt like a boxing game. Two heavyweights, punch after punch, jab after jab, hook after hook. I mean, it was simply sensational. Tactics, not forget about the tactics. The only thing it mattered was just go out and attack each other. It was exhilarating, it was exciting, it was I'm going to say everything that we wish for and 1,000 times, a million times more than what we thought we were going to get it. I'm really still baffled and I'm still breathless from the game that I watched. Again, this is what you want, in a semi-final, in a big game of football with two giants playing at each other, literally literally playing good football and having a go at each other. That's what you want in a game like this. And we got it. It's going to be so much interesting tomorrow night when Atletico Madrid and Arsenal play. And I'm saying this as an Arsenal fan, I know what we are going to get tomorrow. And like, again, people are going to come in, people are going to be angry about it. But, it is going to be, I think, 180 degree turn in that game. I think it's going to be a completely different type of game than today's. But for me today, I mean, it is simply amazing. And I did a combined 11 from the Champions League teams. And I put Kvaratskhelia in there and he was amazing today. I put Olise in there and he was spectacular. I had Vitinha in there. I mean, and Vitinha was bloody brilliant today again. Harry Kane again. I can keep on going. Luis Diaz. I mean, I did not put Luis Diaz because of some the restrictions that I had for me in that combined 11. But I mean, amazing. And every single player from the goalkeeper up until the striker, it did not matter who came on from the bench, who got subbed on, who got subbed off. Every one of them ran their socks off. The stamina and the conditioning that these players were, the players are, and the way that they had to play. I mean, it was simply sensational. And again, I'm going to give credit this time to PSG, because unlike Bayern Munich are the champions. They don't really have to worry about the Bundesliga because they have already won it. PSG are still in a tighter race, even though it feels like after the weekend that they are going to win it. They have opened up a good amount of a big gap between them and Lens, but still they are still fighting for the league as well, and you don't really see PSG fighting for the league at this stage. But despite all of that, despite playing all those games over the weekend, both of them, Bayern Munich had to bring in all their big guns in that second half against Mainz. They were 3-0 down. They brought in Harry Kane, they bring in Olise, and then they are winning the game 4-3. And then for all of them, those players to come in and play today like that, I mean, you just need to stand up and applaud all of them. It was simply breathtaking, and it was simply brilliant. I really don't have anything else to say. As I say, it was an outstanding game of football, and I cannot wait for that second leg. Does any team have any advantage? I personally don't think so. There's any advantage for anybody. PSG might have a lead, but I don't think it's going to matter. Bayern Munich can go and take the game back to Allianz Arena, and they can easily dispatch 3 past PSG. And then knowing PSG, they can come in and they can score the goals for fun as well. I think there's no advantage. There's nothing. It's just like, it's just going to be who is able to score more goals. It's basically that. I don't think mentally or PSG are going to think, we have a goal advantage. No, I don't think they are going to be like that. They're just, as I said, nor are Bayern going to be really happy or, are sad that we are just a goal behind. I don't think that is going to come into play in this game with these teams. And I'm just waiting for that second leg because I think that's going to be a crazy game as well. That is from me in this video. Let me know what you guys thought of the game in the comment section. section below. And what are your expectations from the second leg, and what are your expectations for tomorrow's second semi-final between Atletico Madrid and Arsenal? Like the video, share it as well, click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. Until next time, bye bye.